This special A Friend of Mine episode is a live roving interview from the 2023 Henty Field Days. I get out amongst the 3,500 businesses across 1,200 sites and 14 kilometres of shopfront on 105 hectares, the biggest exhibition space in the country. At times, you will hear the sounds of our surroundings, whether it's some of the 60,000 people in attendance, nature, machinery, or a PA system. I feel like these sounds make you feel like you're standing right there with us having a quick catch up. Our 4 special guests on day 1 are from in and around the Country Lifestyle Pavillion. We have Sarah, the founder of Windella Farm, a boutique goat dairy located in Cohuna, Victoria, producing Australian eco skincare products backed by nature. Jess, the daughter, from Bandicute, a mother-daughter duo who hand-make baby and children's clothing and educational resources from their family farm in Gunning, New South Wales. Helen from the Bra Van, who provides in-person bra fitting and styling to women around regional and rural Australia in the privacy and comfort of her van. And Gwenda from Lewis and Collins, who really does care about your dirty washing. From her home in the Goulburn Valley, she creates amazingly scented washing crystals, which are a sustainable alternative to fabric softener. So let me introduce you to some new friends of mine. Hello, Sarah from Windella Farm. Welcome to Henty.
Hi, Kimberly. Great to see you again.
It's always good to see you, my fellow little field day person. Now this one, we've driven a little bit of a longer way today. You're from Cohuna. How far today?
4-hour drive for me, but that's kind of a walk in the park these days. I get around a bit.
So where else would you tour? Is Henty your first? Are you a first Henty stall exhibitor?
I am. I'm a virgin Hentyite, and I'm just keen to meet a whole lot of new people. Country people are my folk. They're easy to talk with. And it's a great way to meet lots of new customers and tell our story.
I always love your setup. I feel like you've put a lot of effort in. It gets better and better each year. What's the lead up like? You know, are you making stuff a month out, 2 months out, or the night before?
For me, it's a continual process, especially because the soaps need time to cure. So I'm kind of always producing, but in the lead up to these big events, probably about a month out, I'm checking my skincare stocks, making sure I've got plenty of that. I've got 5 big multi-day events in 5 or 6 weeks. So there's not a lot of time in between those to restock. I've just got to make sure the shelves are full and it's come home, unpack, repack and hit the road again.
Oh my gosh, I have to ask, are you an introvert or an extrovert then? I mean, you're sort of on all the time here, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I would say in an environment like this, you sort of need to be a bit extroverted, engage with the people to catch their eye and, you know, start a conversation. But generally in life, I'm probably more introverted, little close, tight circle that I spend time with.
It's like when you finish and you just stop smiling when you're packing the van, isn't it? And then you just go home and just try and recharge again, because Henty's 3 days as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm very much, usually at the end of a big day, I don't really talk to anyone. It's kind of like takeaway on the bed, early night. There's quite a few friends here, so we'll catch up for tea again tonight, but it'll be an early one. We're all in the same boat.
Oh, nice little social aspect. I'm looking at your stall and I'm seeing a new product. I know we talked about it at Elmore last year, that was, and I can see it. It looks so great. Tell me about it.
Thank you so much. Buck and Beard is our new men's grooming range. It was 9 months in the making. That's how long it takes to make a baby. And we're really proud of it. So it's sort of harnessing my decade of experience in making soap and skincare and applying that to men's grooming, because they deserve just as good a skincare as what we've got. So yeah, it's been really popular, and especially at big events and markets, there's often not a lot for guys. I mean, a field days is different, but they love seeing something that they can immediately identify as, oh, that's for me. Yes, tell me about it.
And your other half, he has a beard too, so he's the perfect model.
Absolutely. He did just have a goat beard, but when we started talking about doing this brand, I said, well, you know, you've got to have a full beard. You need to be on brand. So he's got the full beard now. He spends quite a lot of time grooming it, like hair dryer, brushes, the whole lot. But yeah, it does look much more convincing with a bearded bloke behind the counter. So he does some of the events with me.
I love it. Now, look, I asked this question on the podcast anyway, and I think it's perfect for Henty. Can you tell me about a friend of yours or a stall holder that I need to know about and go visit?
Yeah, for sure. Fiona from Balls for Your Mind, she makes children's juggling balls. It's a really great active way to play, and you should have a chat with her. She's just down the road.
Awesome. I'm going to go find her and play with some balls. I don't know. I think I'm seriously sunstruck from today. It's hot. Like, we're just into spring and it's like 30 or 40 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's a stinker. I think Thursday should be cooler. I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent. Always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me on the podcast, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Have a great day.
Hello, Jess from Bandicute. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Kimberly.
It's nice to meet you in person. We've followed each other on Instagram for a little while now, and I've watched your brand get bigger and bigger and add in extra little things. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a journey. Yeah, coming up to 7 years now, and yeah, we started with kids' clothing and it's kind of exploded. So.
And you do this with your mum.
I do. I am very lucky that we get to work together. We live on our farm together. We've got 200 acres, we've got sheep, and we've got miniature Galloway cows. And so, yeah, we run the farm as one big family and we all work in the business, and it's great.
That is super cute. This is your second Henty. How does it compare to last, and what sort of lessons did you take into this year?
So last year was really massive because it was the first Henty after COVID. It was our first Henty that we'd ever been to. So yeah, we kind of knew what to expect, and we've just worked our little butts off to get organised for this year, and we have a lot more products than we brought last year as well. So yeah, we've just been pulling a lot of late nights, in addition to all of the other things that we have to do as mums and, online orders and whatnot. So
it never stops. That's the thing. There's always something to do. I've noticed your new branding. It looks fantastic. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it, how it came about, why you needed it, you thought? Because it's a big thing to do, is to change your branding.
Yeah. So I probably need to go back about a year. We actually bought a second business, a laser cut educational toys business. And earlier this year, it kind of became clear to us that it was too hard to manage two separate businesses. And since our businesses were so aligned already with the kids' clothing and the kids' educational products, we decided to merge them. So that's when we were like, okay, we need a clear direction on who we are going forward. And that was why we decided to rebrand. So our new branding is really colourful. We've got our tagline, Wear, Play, Learn, Create. So it kind of ties in everything that we do really well. And yeah, really happy with it. So
it looks fantastic. As you said, you've got some new toys. You have the Patience of a Saint. I saw kids here and there. It's an exhibit that you're allowed to pull apart and draw on. I just this blows my mind.
Yeah, so it's really important to us that parents can actually see their kids interacting with the products, and they can see how they are going to fit into their lives. So we have a lot of art supplies like our scribble mats and our Kit Pass crayons and our tracing boards as well. So yeah, you just kind of have to let go a little bit, because you want the kids to interact with them and you want parents to see how they use. So.
Now, I ask this question all the time. Do you have a friend of yours or a fellow stall holder here at Henty that you could tell me about?
Yes, so actually just down the way there, you'll find Dwenda from Lewis and Collins. Dwenda is a Goulburn girl and she makes the most fabulous washing crystals, and she will make your laundry smell absolutely amazing. And once you start using them, you will never want to stop.
I love that. Do you know, my husband's here with me. He does all our washing except for mine. So I wash my own clothes. The rest of the 5 of our family, my husband looks after all that.
Yeah, my husband actually does all of my washing too, I have to be honest. I just am so time poor, so he is just a blessing in my life because I would have nothing to wear without him. So
we need these people because it is such a big thing to come to a field days. It takes a lot of organisation. Your stall looks amazing. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Hello, Helen from the Bra Van. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. And again, I'm so happy to meet you in person. We see each other on socials all the time. But I'm so glad to be standing in somewhere special that we'll talk about in a little minute. But tell me, this is your first Henty?
It is my first Henty, yes. And it's a warm one.
It is so hot today. Let me know about the lead up to here. why you've travelled this far, because you're from around home, so you're from around that sort of greater Bendigo area. Yeah, so why you've travelled here and what you hope to achieve.
Beautiful. Well, I travel all over Australia because I want to bring my service to regional women because they don't have the same service as they have in the city. So I never go to the city. I only ever do regional areas. And in fact, I'm even heading up to Alice Springs next month.
Wow. I love Alice Springs. I'm looking for an excuse to take the kids for a holiday. Not sure I can sit in the car with all 6 of us for that far, but still, it's such an amazing place in Australia. Tell me about the bra van. It's so unique. It's air conditioned.
Just saying, it is air conditioned and we're enjoying it. Look, it is a unique concept, and like I said, it's a concept I came up with a few years ago, wanting to take the service to regional women, but wanting to do it without having to drag tons of suitcases full of bras. Everything's set up in here. It's a beautiful private space, and like we said, air conditioned and obviously heated in the winter. So, it's working really well. The regional women are really embracing it. They are really appreciating having that service brought right to them.
Now, I know that purchasing a van is a massive investment. Like, had you thought about it a lot, or were you just a little bit like me and go, I'll buy it and then I'll work everything else around it?
Well, it was a funny story. I started with a small vintage caravan, and the story went that basically that was a great concept. It worked really well. There was one slight problem. Helen could not get her head around how to reverse the damn thing. So it was just, it didn't give me independence. I was constantly asking my husband to take the van to events and set it up so that I could do my work. So this van was going to give me that independence. But the interesting thing was, of course, I made the decision about 2 weeks before COVID hit Australia, and I had a mini meltdown and thought, oh dear, what have I done? But in the end, it ended up being a really sound investment because it gave us a couple of things. It gave my husband a project to do during COVID. And of course, I managed to get out between lockdowns and start to spread the word about what I was offering. By the time we fully opened up again, I just hit the ground running, and it's been busy ever since.
The reverse parking, my grandfather taught me, and it's the best skill that I've ever had. My husband actually doesn't listen to the podcast. I don't know what it is about my voice that he doesn't want to listen to me too much, but so he won't know this. He can't reverse park for shit. So it's me. He'll drive around and around looking for one. It's me that can reverse park. So I feel for you, Helen. But I absolutely love this. Tell me, where are you off to next?
Yeah, so after we've been here at Henty for the next 3 days, we're going to head to a little town called Cohuna, which we have been to before, and we had a great response, and they've asked us to come back again. So Cohuna, then up to Leeton, where again we've visited before, on to Griffith, and probably pop into Albury-Wodonga on the way home. So
what a nice little tour there.
Absolutely, love a good road trip, and of course, under the guise of work, so all good.
It's always trying to find coffee shops. I think that's my biggest struggle, but once you find one, it stays with you forever.
Absolutely, sounds definitely like a plan. Can't do it without coffee in the day and maybe a wine at night.
Oh, it sounds bliss. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it, and enjoy your air conditioning.
I will. Thanks, Kimberly.
Hello, Dwenda. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. One of the other stall holders, I ask a question, tell me about a friend of yours that we need to know about, and someone mentioned you. They said, oh my gosh, you have to visit Dwenda. She makes this delicious laundry, I suppose, magic that makes everything smell delicious. And look, it was just coincidence that I'm walking past. I'm a big scent person. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that delicious smell? And it's you, Lewis and Collins.
Thank you. Thanks for coming by.
So tell me, how did you get into this? How did your business start?
So when our daughter's son was born, he had eczema as a baby, and she was buying the Eco Low Scent detergent and was missing the fragrance. So she couldn't use the fabric softener anymore. So that's when we started making the washing crystals, which are an alternative to commercial fabric softener.
You sound like the best mum. to make something for your daughter or for your grandchild, really, to help them out. I don't know if you know that, but that is such a beautiful gift.
Oh, thank you so much.
So tell me about the smells and a little bit about the actual product. You know, how long has it taken you to be able to formulate something like this?
Yeah, it took a little bit of testing just to get it right, so that the formula wasn't too wet, and it would go through the washing machine cycle really, really easily. We have a range of fragrances, so there's something for everybody. We are also working on an essential oil washing crystal.
And even just I'm just looking at your packaging, your branding. Have you done this before? Like, is this your first business?
No.
I feel like that. I'm like, this is just too nice. It's really high level, honestly. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. The shelving that I'm using today is the first time, and made the fabric panels and just to make it sort of pop a little bit more. Yeah.
And is this your first Henty?
It's my second Henty. I was here last year as well, and it was great. So I came back, of course.
Any lessons from the last time that you've sort of been able to implement this time around? You know, a different setup or more marketing, or what did you do different?
Yeah, so we've I've put the table at the front of the stand, so then it catches people's attention as they go past. So it's like a big net, really.
Tell me where you're from and if there's someone in your region that we need to know about.
So I'm from Goulburn in New South Wales, and I have two lovely ladies, mother and daughter team, Bandicute. They're from Gunning, and we actually have a small business group that we've developed all together. And this year we went away on a retreat. We made our own retreat, and everyone brought something to the table, and it was amazing.
Oh my God, I have FOMO. That is such a great little idea that you've all come together. How many retreats have you had?
One.
Well, it was a success.
It truly was. And we all came away, and like we were on a high for weeks afterwards, because it was just so amazing. We were all relaxed and recharged, and yeah.
And because you're in a group, you're out of your own head, you're not answering your own questions, you've got that input, someone looking from the outside in, which is just so valuable.
Exactly, yeah. And we just spent the weekend bouncing off each other, and yeah, we've also got a florist in there and copywriter.
So maybe that's a nice little tip to share with our listeners, that, you know, if there's, maybe you need to make your own little small business, like you've only got about 4 or 5 of you together, and just go away for a little weekend, one night away. I'm sure we can all organise for someone to look after little ones if we have them, because the value of that, probably both personally and professionally, was invaluable.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We just, recharged, and it was amazing.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go so that I can actually be a customer now, because I want to buy some. I love it, because I need to pick out my scent.
You do, yes.
Thanks, Wenda.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Now, before you take off with all that inspiration and knowledge, we'd love for you to leave a review on our podcast so that we can continue to amplify women's voices in the media. And if you have any questions, we'd like to celebrate a win, you can always connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Oak Magazine AU. I'm so glad we've met, and that now you know a friend of mine.